Hi again. I'm Miss Mallory from the Coin Industry Project, which, as you know already, brings drama into the classroom. So today we're going to be working on sound, movement, and character expression, but I would like to go over a few things before we do that. First off, I want to go over what drama is. So what is drama? If you know the answer, you can say it out loud. What is drama? What is drama to you? And what is drama for this class? So drama is telling a story using different tools that you have. The story can be, for this class, it would be a book. Usually for acting, it would be a play or a movie or a television show. Sometimes this drama comes in the shape of cartoons or animations that you might be familiar with. SpongeBob can be drama, but so can Rosie, Revere, Engineer, which is the story that we've been working on. So drama, just to go over it again, is telling a story. Drama is telling a story, and we tell those stories using the tools that we have. Now, we went over these tools before, but and if you know them, feel free to say it out loud. What are the tools that you have as an actor? We use these tools to tell stories. What are the tools of an actor? And I'll give you a hint. There are 3 of them, and you have them on you already. I don't need anything else. You have them on you already. What are the 3 tools of an actor that you have? If you know them, feel free to say it out loud. So it goes like this. The 3 tools of an actor, and if you know it, go ahead and say it, are your, and. Okay, so the 3 tools of an actor are your body, your voice, and your imagination. Again, the 3 tools of an actor are your body, your voice, and your imagination. And those 3 tools are really all you need to tell a story for drama. Again, the 3 tools of an actor are your body, your voice, and your imagination. Okay, so now that you've gone through the 3 tools of an actor, let's review what we've gone over already in these classes. So storytelling, the storytelling of drama uses these tools that we just went over. But we've also learned what tableau is. Tableau and pantomime. They both use your 2 of the tools that you have, which are your body and your imagination, but not necessarily your voice. So do you remember what tableau is? If you remember what a tableau is, show me a tableau. Show me a tableau that you might know. For example, show me a tableau of a chef. Show me a tableau of a chef, if you remember what a tableau is. So a tableau is a frozen picture. Again, a tableau is a frozen picture. So this is what a tableau of a chef might be. It might be a chef stirring a pot and smelling the food. Maybe that's a tableau of a chef. So if a tableau is a frozen picture, what is pantomime? Pantomime is very similar, but you use your tools a little bit differently than you do with tableau. What is pantomime? If tableau is a frozen picture, pantomime is that's right, it's a moving picture. So a pantomime is a moving picture. You can tell a story not using your voice as well. So you can use your body and your imagination. So we're doing that with Tableau by doing a frozen picture, and with pantomime, you're doing a moving picture. So show me a pantomime of a chef or a cook. Good job. So if I were to do a pantomime of a chef or a cook, I would take what I did for Tableau, which is stirring the pot and smelling it, right? But I'd be doing it as a moving picture. So I'd be doing this. This is a pantomime of a chef. So that would be a pantomime of a chef. Pantomime is a moving picture. Tableau is a frozen picture. Okay, so again, today we are working on sound and movement and character expression. I'd like to introduce something called first thought, best thought. So again, it's first thought, best thought. And the poet Allen Ginsberg, he was a beat poet. He would often refer to this as taking the first thought that comes out of your head. That is the best thought that you have. So actors use it a lot when they're improvising on stage, which means that they are coming up with things off the cuff, not scripted. So first thought, best thought, it just means that you trust your intuition. It means that you trust what you think is best at the time, and not letting any outside voices or what you think might not be right as far as drama and creativity goes. Like, what you first think is going to be the best thought. And we encourage that a lot in drama, because a lot of what acting is trusting what we call your gut. It's trusting what you think is right for the scene and for that situation, and what you think and what you feel is right. And so first thought, best thought is the best way to get a lot of your creative ideas out there. So first thought, best thought. I wanted to introduce that. It comes from being spontaneous and fearless. So being spontaneous means not necessarily planning ahead and just saying something or doing something that you think is right for the situation, instead of letting your fear kind of get to you, because oftentimes that is what gets in the way of us bringing to life some of our best ideas. So, and that it also comes with the trust, with trusting an open heart and the moment that something or a thought occurs. And it's a moment of a fresh perspective. So you haven't let these thoughts and, weird fears kind of settle in. You just kind of go for it. So that is first thought, best thought. Before we go further into this, we do need to warm up. So before we do anything, we need to warm up the 3 tools that we have, which again are our bodies, our voices, and our imagination. So we need to warm that up first. You can stay seated for this warm up, but definitely take this time to use your energy and move your body around. First off, I want you to reach above your heads. Act like there's candy in the ceiling. So reach your hands up above your head. You can even act like you're climbing a rope. Now, wiggle your fingers. Drop your fingers, drop your wrists, drop your elbows, and then drop your shoulders. Now, take a crayon. This is a crayon in my head. Put it on top of your head, like this, and draw some circles with your head, with that crayon, onto the ceiling. Draw 4 circles. Now do it the other way 4 times. Very slowly. Now, I want you to take that crayon, take it off of your head, break it in half, and stick each half on your shoulders. Here and one here. Now, draw circles on both sides of the room with the crayons on your shoulders. Let's do 4 backwards. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now 4 forwards. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just heard some bones cracking. Okay, now take these crayons, put them back together. Just put it away for now. Set it to the side. Now, I want you to give me a superhero chest. So what does a superhero chest look like? For me, a superhero chest is nice and big and proud and powerful. So let's do superhero chest. Now let's do a villain chest. Villain kind of just gets small and tiny and evil, right? Now let's go back to superhero chest. Big and proud and out, and then villain chest. And small. Shrink. Now superhero chest again. Now villain chest. Superhero chest. Now villain chest. Oh, okay, good job. Now, I want you to create a ball of energy in between your hands like this. So clap your hands, knees your hands. Now clap them together and create a warm ball of energy until it becomes nice and warm. Okay, now wake up your body with this ball of energy. Start off with your head, back of your head, your face, your arms, shoulders. Let's go to your chest. Go like this. Ah. Now go to your belly and your back and your hips and your thighs. Now your legs and your calves. Even to your feet. Okay. Now I want you to warm up your face. So make your face nice and big like this. Eyes big, mouth big. Now small. Big. Now small. 2 more times. Big. Now small. Big. And small. Okay. Now, we need to warm up our voices and our mouth. So, first you're going to blow your lips out like a horse, but don't make any sound and don't make any vibrations with your mouth. You just go like this. Now you can play with sound and vibrating your lips. Play with some sound. Okay, now let's go ahead and warm up our voices and this tool here, our face, our body, our mouths. We're going to do this by going through the alphabet. So with every letter that you say, don't just say A. I want you to use your entire face to do the alphabet. So if I say A, it's A. So make sure to use your cheeks and your lips and your nose and your eyes to do the alphabet. We're going to start at the beginning. Ready? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. So hopefully your cheeks are all warmed up and loosened now. Now, let's get into some tongue twisters. I have a couple for you. If you know them on your own, you can do your own, but I'll start off with a couple. Unique New York. You know you need unique New York. Now say it again with me. Unique New York. You know you need unique New York. I say it a little bit faster. Unique New York. You know you need unique New York. Unique New York. Unique New York. You know you need unique New York. You know you need unique New York. Unique New York. Unique New York. You know you need unique New York. Now let's try this next one. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. You might know this one already. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. So Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? Let's do it a little bit faster. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. So Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. So Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. So Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? A little bit faster. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. So Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? And one more. The big black bug bleeds blue-black blood, but the little black bug bleeds blue. The big black bug bleeds blue-black blood, but the little black bug bleeds blue. The big black bug bleeds blue-black blood, but the little black bug bleeds blue. A little bit faster. The big black bug bleeds blue-black blood, but the little black bug bleeds blue. Oh my gosh. Good job. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right. Good job warming up. Now that you have warmed up your 3 tools, we are going to play with sound and movement today. So what I would like for you to do is to make a silly sound and do a movement with it. So we're going to do this using our 3 tools. So it's a good thing that we warmed up. So again, we need to make a silly sound using the 3 tools that we have. So we're going to be using our voices, we're going to be using our bodies, and our imaginations, because we can't really do this without turning our imaginations on. So it's very quick, it's very simple. We can't use any dictionary word, so I can't just go pancake. That doesn't work. No dictionary words. Or puppy. Can't do that. We have to make sounds and not using dictionary words. So, for example, is that something that you can find in the dictionary? No. I'll do it again. I'll try. Your turn. Do whichever sound or movement that you want. It doesn't have to be what I just did. Ready, and your turn. Good job. Let's do another one. I'll start. Actually, you go ahead. You do a completely different one. Give me a second sound and movement not found in the dictionary. Okay, good job. I'll do another one. I'll do a second one. Bring! No, you know what? That was too similar to what I just did. So I'll do the same sound, different movement. Bring! Was that okay? Did I do okay? Okay. Now let's do our third sound and movement. Remember, body, voices, and imaginations. Ready? And good job. My third sound and movement is going to be Is that okay? Is that something that you can find in the dictionary? Maybe zoom. So zoom. Maybe there's no O in there. It's just zoom. ZM. I don't think that's in the dictionary. Unless you look it up and I'm wrong. Good job. Good job doing that. Now, oh boy. Now we have to do it in slow motion. So take what you just did. Take your third sound and movement, but do it in slow motion. I'll do mine first. Okay, ready? Now your turn in slow motion. Okay, good job. I'll do another one in slow motion. I'll do my second one in slow motion. Ready? Now your turn. Do your second sound and movement in slow motion. Good job. All right, now let's speed it up a little bit. So instead of doing it in slow motion, you're gonna do it fast. So I'll do the one that I just did. Bring. Okay, your turn. Okay, now I'll do my third one in fast motion. Sped up. Gosh, what was it? Okay, your turn. Okay, good job. Okay, good job. Now we're going to explore what movement and sound there is in Rosie, Revere, Engineer, which is the story that we were working with for the last couple of weeks. So let's talk about moments in the story that feature sounds or objects that move. So I'm going to take a look at the story and we'll talk about it. Okay, so the first part that I can think of that has some sound and movement is when Rosie, it says she made him a hat from parts of a fan. So this is the hat that she made for her Uncle Zookeeper Fred. She made him a hat to keep snakes off of his head. And they're made from parts of a fan and some cheddar cheese spray, which everyone knows keeps the pythons away. So, okay. So let's go ahead and think about movement and sound in that part. So she made him a hat to keep snakes off his head from parts of a fan and some cheddar cheese spray, which everyone knows keeps the pythons away. So what I think of is the cheddar cheese spray is going to make some sound, and when Rosie Revere is making the hat from parts of a fan, she's going to be moving around to make it, right? So let's talk about that a little bit. Okay, so she made him a hat. So if I were to pantomime, so usually in pantomime we don't use any sounds, we don't use our voices or anything like that. We're going to do pantomime but with your voice. So we're going to use sound and movement to tell this part of the story, right? Okay, so she made him a hat. So I'll pretend like I'm Rosie Revere. So she made him a hat. So this is my imaginary hat in my hand. I don't think I have a hat over here to try. This is a hat, and she made it from parts of a fan. So let's act like I'm putting the hat down. I'm going to put it down. This is like the table right here. So I'm putting the hat down, right? So the hat's right here. And I'm going to take parts from a fan. And so I'm going to act like I am taking a fan apart to put this hat together. So I'm going to use a screwdriver. This is some movement, right? Concentrated. And then I'll take this part off and then maybe place it right here and screw it onto the hat. Okay, kind of test it out. Looks good. Now I'm going to take some cheddar cheese spray. I'm going to take this can, and what do you usually do with cans before you spray things? You have to shake it, right? And then you spray it on. So I'm going to take this can right here. This is a can of cheddar cheese spray, and I'm going to shake it. Okay, it's all shaken up now. So I'm going to use this can to spray cheddar cheese onto the hat. Take the cap off. And then spray. Looks good, right? Okay, so let's look at an object or something that might also make a sound in here. So a python is a snake, right? So what might a python sound like? What does snakes sound like? What do they do? Snakes, that's right, they hiss. So a snake, what would a snake sound like? Show me what a snake sounds like. So a snake kind of might sound like this. Right? Is that what a snake sounds like? Yeah? Cool. Okay, let's move on. Okay, here's another part. When it was finished, young Rosie was proud, but Fred slapped his knee and chuckled out loud. He laughed till he wheezed, and his eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere, who stood there embarrassed, perplexed, and dismayed. She looked at the cheese hat and then looked away. So there's a lot of movement and sound in that part. It's right after the cheese hat part. So let's talk about that a little bit. So if I'm Uncle Zookeeper Fred, this is what I might look like. So Fred slapped his knee and chuckled out loud. He laughed till he wheezed, and his eyes filled with tears. So Fred slapped his knee and chuckled out loud. He laughed till he wheezed, and his eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere. So she stood there embarrassed. So she was embarrassed, perplexed, and dismayed. She looked at the cheese hat and then looked away. So let's act that out. She stood there embarrassed, perplexed, and dismayed. She looked at the cheese hat and then looked away. Was that okay? Did I look perplexed and embarrassed and dismayed? Now I'm going to leave the next part up to you. So let's fast forward to a different part of the story. Okay, so let's fast forward to near the end of the story, or about halfway. After she makes the plane for her great-great-aunt Rose. So what happens is Rosie figures out a way to help her great-great-aunt Rose fly. She worked and she worked till the day was half gone, then hauled her Cheesecopter out onto the lawn. So I would like for you to show me what it looks like to haul a Cheesecopter out onto the lawn. Is the Cheesecopter heavy or light? So is the thing that you're going to be dragging onto the lawn, is it heavy or is it light? Does it smell good? Does it smell like cheese? Is it sticky? Is it kind of gross? Show me what it looks like to haul a Cheesecopter out onto the lawn. Good job. Now there's another part where it says, she strapped into the cockpit, she flipped on the switch. The Helio Cheesecopter puttered and twitched. So show me what it looks like to strap yourself into the cockpit of a Helio Cheesecopter and flipping on a switch. I'll read it while you do it. Strapped into the cockpit, she flipped on the switch. Good job. Next, it says, I'm thinking about things that might make a sound. So the Helio Cheesecopter puttered and twitched. So what does it sound like for something to putter? When something is starting out and then it starts to break down. I kind of just did it right then. Putter. So that maybe that's what the Helio Cheesecopter sounds like. Have you ever seen like a small airplane or helicopter be started up? So it's like maybe that's what it sounds like. And then it twitched. If I read a Helio Cheesecopter, that's probably what I would have looked like. So there you go. We added some sound and we added some movement to Rosie, Revere, Engineer. So that's a good introduction to what sound and movement is. The only other thing that I can think of is at the end. It says, at Blue River Creek, all the kids in grade 2 build gizmos and gadgets and doohickeys too. With each a perfect failure, they all stand and cheer, but none quite as proudly as Rosie Revere. So what does it sound like to stand and cheer? Have you ever been to a game, like a baseball game, or like a siblings basketball game or soccer game or anything like that, or any other sports event, when everyone stands and cheers for the players? What does that look like? Show me what standing and cheering looks and sounds like. All right, good job. Woo, yeah, yeah, woo. Good job. That was my standing and cheering. Okay, now that we have gone through sound and movement, we are going to switch gears to character and what it means to be a character or play one. So character can actually describe a few different things. So character can be a person in a story. In Rosie, Revere, Engineer, the character is Rosie Revere. We also have Zookeeper Fred, which is her uncle, and we also have her great-great-aunt Rose and the classmates in her class. But a character can also mean distinctive qualities, very specific qualities that are different from anybody else. How someone moves, how someone talks, how someone makes choices. And that's what makes someone different, is their character. So a character can be a person, or it can make you, it could be what makes that person different. They're both kind of nouns. Person is definitely a noun, but character can be described as either, a quality, which would be a noun, or it could be an adjective. So it can be how someone is described. I know that sounds confusing, but let's explore that in an activity that we're going to do right now. So what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to right now stand up, stand on your feet, stand on one side of the room, and walk across it in the way that I instruct you to. So please take this opportunity. You can take a couple of seconds. Go ahead and stand up. If you're not standing already, stretch. I know we warmed up earlier, but just move around. Okay, so please stand up. Go to one side of the room, and I want you to walk across it first like you are flying. So walk across the room like you're flying. Ready? Walk across the room like you're flying. What does it look like to fly? Maybe you're a seagull. Maybe you're a blackbird. Maybe you're a robin. right? So if you're a robin, you're tiny, you have little wings, or maybe you're a butterfly flying, or different ways that you can fly. Try it again. Walk across the room again like you are flying. Are you a big bird? Are you a pterodactyl? Are you a tiny butterfly flying? So walk across the room like you're flying again. Okay? Now, go back to the side of the room. Now, I would like you to walk across the room as if you are an elephant. So let's talk about what an elephant is first before you walk across. Is an elephant light or heavy? That's right. Elephants are heavy. What kind of limbs do elephants have? Do they have tiny, like bird-like legs? Or are they big and chunky and heavy? Something else to think about, what do their feet look like? So you have, how are elephants' feet different from your feet? Your feet are, kind of slim. They kind of look like the hand, right? They're like slim, longer, but elephant feet are round and they're flat. So think about what an elephant might walk like. They also have these giant, goofy ears, flappy, light, goofy ears. And they also have like a long, goofy trunk that they use to pick things up and put into their mouth to eat. Or it's not a mouth, it's a nose, right? Yeah, so they have like the long trunk. So they're heavy, but they're kind of floppy, which makes them super cute. Okay, so let's walk across the room like you're an elephant. Ready, and go. Good job. So if I were an elephant and I was walking across the room, it'd probably be like this. Boom, 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 boom. Show me again. I think I'm doing it wrong, so you're going to have to show me how to do it the right way. What would an elephant walk across the room look like? Ready? And walk across the room again, looking like an elephant. Good job. Okay, now let's talk about what it is or what it looks like or feels like to wade through mud. Because next I want you to walk across the room as if you were wading through mud. What does that feel like? Mud is heavy and it's wet and you can get stuck in it and it gets all over your clothes and your shoes. So if you're walking across the room like you're in mud, what does that look like? Maybe you're a little bit slower. Walking through mud makes you really slow. It's not like a light feeling. So let's go ahead and walk across the room like you're wading through mud. So ready? I'll do it with you. I can't really walk up. I don't have a lot of space here, but it kind of looks like you have to pull your leg out of the mud to be able to pull your other leg out of the mud. And you're just, gosh, wading through mud is so exhausting. Good job. You made it to the other side. Now, I would like for you to walk across the room as if you are the king of the country. So walk across the room like the king of the country. What do kings walk like? Are kings shameful and shy and scared of everything? And no, they are not. Kings are typically proud. They're usually dressed really nice and present themselves really well. So walk across the room like you are in charge of a country. It's a little bit different than walking like you're wading through mud, unless you are a king wading through mud. That might be the next one. So go ahead and walk across the room like you are a king of the country. That's what I imagine a king looks like when he's walking across the room, or they. Very light. Okay, good job. Okay, so now I'm going to read off the story. And as I read the story, I want you to walk across the room as these characters, how you think that they would walk across the room. I'm going to read Rosie Revere, Engineer to you. And I'll stop, or I'll read a little bit slower for you to walk across the room as this character. So please stay on your feet so that we can walk across the room as these characters. Rosie Revere, Engineer by Andrea Beatty. This is the story of Rosie Revere, who dreamed of becoming a great engineer. In Lila Greer's classroom at Blue River Creek, young Rosie sat shyly, not daring to speak. When no one saw her, she peeked in the trash for treasures to add to her engineer stash. And remember, take this time to walk across the room like Rosie Revere. And late at night, Rosie rolled up her sleeves and built in her hideaway under the eaves. Alone in her attic, the moon high above, dear Rosie made gadgets and gizmos she loved. And when she grew sleepy, walk across the room like you're sleepy. She hid her machines far under her bed where they'd never be seen. When Rosie was young, she had not been so shy. She worked with her hair swooping over one eye and made fine inventions for uncles and aunts, a hot dog dispenser and helium pants. The uncle she loved most was Zookeeper Fred. Now walk across the room like Zookeeper Fred. She made him a hat to keep snakes off his head from parts of a fan and some cheddar cheese spray, which everyone knows keeps the pythons away. And when it was finished, young Rosie was proud. Walk across real quick the room like as if you're a proud Rosie. But Fred slapped his knee and he chuckled out loud. Now take this time to walk across the room like Zookeeper Fred. He laughed till he wheezed and his eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere, who stood there embarrassed, perplexed, and dismayed. She looked at the cheese hat and then looked away. "I love it," Fred hooted. "Oh, truly, I do." And now go back to Rosie Revere. But Rosie Revere knew that could not be true. So, what's interesting about walking across the room as Rosie Revere for the story is that her emotions change quite a lot. She goes from being, in the beginning she sits shyly, not daring to speak, but it also says that when Rosie was young, she had not been so shy. So it kind of goes back and forth. And after she makes the hat for Zookeeper Fred, she is embarrassed and perplexed and dismayed. So Rosie's character is actually a lot of fun to play with when you're thinking about character and how this character walks and how this character behaves. So let's go to Rosie walking across the room, embarrassed, perplexed, and dismayed. Please walk across the room as Rosie, embarrassed, perplexed, and dismayed. Walk across the room like Rosie. But Rosie knew that could not be true. She stuck the cheese hat on the back of her shelf, and after that day kept her dreams to herself. So walk across the room like Rosie would, just keeping her dreams to herself, just embarrassed and shy. And that's how it went until one autumn day, her oldest relation showed up for a stay. Now we're going to start talking about her great-great-aunt Rose. Her great-great-aunt Rose was a true dynamo who worked building airplanes a long time ago. So walk across the room like great Aunt Rose. She's a dynamo. She worked building airplanes a long time ago. What do you think that someone like that might walk like? She told Rosie tales of the things she had done and goals she had checked off her list one by one. She gave a sad smile as she looked to the sky. The only thrill left on my list is to fly. But time never lingers as long as it seems. I'll chalk that one up to an old lady's dreams. That night, as Rosie lay side-eyed in bed, now go back to Rosie, walk across the room as a side-eyed Rosie, a daring idea crept into her head. Could she build a gizmo to help her aunt fly? She looked at the cheese head and said, no, not I. So she's kind of like curious, and she starts to get these ideas in her head, and then she thinks about her failed invention, the cheese hat, and she gets discouraged again. But questions are tricky and some hold on tight, and this one kept Rosie awake through the night. So when dawn approached and red streaks lit the sky, young Rosie knew just how to make her aunt fly. She worked and she worked till the day was half gone, then hauled her Cheesecopter out onto the lawn to give her invention a test just to see the ridiculous flop it might turn out to be. Strapped into the cockpit, she flipped on the switch. The Helio Cheesecopter puttered and twitched. It floated a moment and whirled round and round, then froze for a heartbeat and crashed to the ground. Then Rosie heard laughter and turned round to see the old woman laughing and slapping her knee. So let's go back to great-great-aunt Rose. She laughed till she wheezed, and her eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere, who thought, let's go back to Rosie, walk across the room as Rosie, oh no, never, not ever again will I try to build something to sputter or spin, or build with a lever, or switch, or a gear, and never will I be a great engineer. So again, she's discouraged. She feels like she wants to just give up. She turned round to leave, but then great-great-aunt Rose grabbed hold of young Rosie and pulled her in close and hugged her and kissed her and started to cry. So let's go back to great-great-aunt Rose, who says, "You did it! Hooray! It's the perfect first try! This great flop is over. It's time for the next." So let's walk across the room as an encouraging and excited great-great-aunt Rose. Awesome. Let's go back to Rosie. Young Rosie was baffled, embarrassed, perplexed. So let's go back to baffled, embarrassed, and perplexed. "I failed," said dear Rosie. "It's just made of trash. Didn't you see it? The Cheesecopter crashed." "Yes," said her great aunt, "it crashed, that is true. But first it did just what it needed to do. Before it crashed, Rosie, before that, it flew. Your brilliant first flop was a raging success. Come on, let's get busy and on to the next." She handed a notebook to Rosie Revere, who smiled at her aunt as it all became clear. So walk across the room like Rosie again, where it all becomes so clear. Life might have its failures, but this was not it. The only true failure can come if you quit. They worked till the sun sneaked away to its bed. Aunt Rose tied her headscarf around Rosie's head and sent her to sleep with a smile ear to ear, to dream the bold dreams of a great engineer. At Blue River Creek, all the kids in grade 2 build gizmos and gadgets and doohickeys too. With each perfect failure, they all stand and cheer, but none quite as proudly as Rosie Revere. Good job. Now for the last part of today's lesson, I would like for you to give me a tableau or a frozen picture about how you feel about drama. How you feel about drama class. So give me a frozen picture of how you feel about drama class. Cool. If I were to give you a tableau of how I feel about drama class, it would be, let's see, if I had to pick an emotion, a feeling, it would be happy. So a tableau of how I feel about drama class, being happy is, that's happy, right? Now give me a tableau or a frozen picture of what you think about drama class. So feeling and thinking could be two very different things, right? So how I feel about drama class is happy. What I think about drama class is that I wish that I could be there to have drama class with you in person. So that's what I think about drama. So if you give me yours, show me yours, give me a tableau of how you think about drama class. Good job. Mine would look like this. So I'm still happy, but you can kind of see that I'm like, I kind of wish that I could be there to teach you in person, but we're doing what we can, right? So thank you so much for your efforts today and for giving me your first thought and your best thought, and for running around and walking across the room and acting as different characters. I definitely had a lot of fun doing it. So I understand that school is going to be over very soon for you. So these videos are going to come a little bit sooner than in 2 or 3 weeks. So expect another 2 videos to end the session in the next few days. So on the count of 3, let's say drama class. 1, 2, 3, drama class.